Hi there. Today we are going to talk about lesson 73. And lesson 73 is pretty important. It is all about multiplying and dividing positives and negatives. And it will give you the rules. And there are definitely rules for dividing and multiplying positive and negative numbers. These you must write down. Rule number 1. If two numbers in the multiplication or division problem have the same sign, that means they're both negative or they're both positive, then the answer will always be positive. Be the positive number. So a positive times a positive or a negative times a negative will always give you a positive answer. Rule number 2. If two numbers in the multiplication or division problem have different signs, then the answer will always be negative. For instance, a negative times a positive, or a positive times a negative divided by a positive divided by a negative, the answer will be negative. Here is a little general thing that is just like something you could write at the top of your paper when you get a quiz, and that might help you to remember. These above, the rules above, they must be written out totally in your notes or I won't approve them. So a positive multiplied, this little dot here means multiplied. A positive multiplied or divided by a positive will give you positive. Negative multiplied or divided by a negative will give you a positive. Over here, this is when you mix them. A negative divided by or multiplied by a positive will give you a negative. A positive multiplied or divided by a negative will give you a negative. In other words, when you mix the signs, the answer will be negative. When you keep the signs the same, the answer will be positive. That's not too tough, I don't think. Okay, now, this is pretty short. We are going to see if we can do these and practice those rules. Got to practice those rules. Ready? Okay, a negative 7 times a positive 3. A negative times a positive will give you a negative. The answer, you say, is a negative 21. Okay? A positive 25 divided by a negative 5. Positive divided by a negative. Signs are different, so the answer will be negative, and it will be negative 5. Okay, next one. Negative 30 divided by negative 6. A negative divided by a negative will be a, yep, that's right, a positive. Only this time it's a positive 5. Okay, next one. A positive 45 divided by a positive 3. A positive divided by a positive is a positive 15. Okay, the next one. We have negative 28 divided by a positive 4. Negative divided by a positive will give you a negative. And, yep, we get a negative 7. Because negative 7 times a positive 4 gives you a negative 28. A negative 2 divided by a negative, a negative 2 multiplied by a negative 11, not divided, will give you a, yep, positive 22. Negative times a negative is a positive. A negative 5 times a positive, a negative 8 times a positive 5, negative 40. A negative 1/4 times a positive 1/2 works with fractions too. A negative times a positive, your answer will be negative, and it will be negative 1/8. Okay, a negative 1.2 divided by a positive 0.3. That looks kind of like a fraction, but it's a division problem. Well, the answer will be negative, and it will be negative 4. Last but not least, we have a negative 1.2 times a negative 1.2. It will be positive answer 1.44. Wow. That wasn't too bad, was it? And that's it. That's all we're going to do today. There is no challenge problem for this lesson, so have a great day. Talk to you later.